Hello friends, on Terrible Sam channel you will find heart-wrenching animated horror stories. So subscribe and enjoy every horror video. And don't forget to press the bell icon, friends. So let's start. The story begins the afternoon when my group of friends came over to my house. My parents were going to a barbecue party at 5 p.m. 4 of my 6 brothers had also left for their respective parties. It was just me, my twin brother, and my oldest brother at home. But at 8 p.m., my oldest brother had to leave for his night shift. My friends are like my family, so it's always fun to be with them. When everyone arrived, Nicholas yelled excitedly, "Oh my God! This is going to be the best sleepover ever!" "Yes, of course," I replied, laughing. Everyone laid out their backpacks and sleeping bags in the living room. The atmosphere was very upbeat and light. We sang karaoke songs, played fun games, and laughed and joked around. As the evening fell and my parents and oldest brother left the house, Ethan said, "Now that we are alone, what do we do?" "You tell me," Megan replied. After a moment of silence, Ethan yelled, "Karaoke!" Everyone started laughing and we immediately started singing along. Travis Scott and Lana Del Rey songs. Some friends even sang Lithuanian and Greek songs that I didn't understand. The night was fun, but we didn't know that behind all the fun and laughter, there was something that was going to make our night scary. Around 9 p.m., everyone stopped singing and having fun. Then Jake suddenly said, "Let's do some adventure, something that we will never forget." "What do you mean?" Emily asked. "Let's play a scary game," Jake replied with a mysterious smile. Ryan said a little nervously, "No man, I don't like such games." But Sophie said enthusiastically, "I like this idea. Let's do something new." Chris joked, "Okay, but if something happens, then Jake will be responsible." "Nothing will happen. This is all just a joke," Jake said confidently. Olivia said in a scary voice, "Do you know that something strange happens in the basement of this house?" Everyone was a little stunned after hearing this. I told them that the basement is always kept locked and no one is allowed to go there. "If you guys want so much adventure, then I challenge one of you," I said. "Which challenge?" Ben asked curiously. "Go to my old room and spend 15 minutes alone there," I said. Jake and Ethan looked at each other. "Come on, we'll both go," Jake said. "If you want to go, go. But remember, if something goes wrong, don't say I didn't warn you," I said seriously. Both of them walked into the room laughing. Everyone else sat in the living room and waited for their return. Jake and Ethan went into my old room and closed the door. I set a timer for 15 minutes and said, "Good luck." Everyone else in the living room laughed and joked. But just as the timer hit 7 minutes, there was a loud sound of glass breaking from upstairs and screams from both of them. Emily and Ryan panicked. "What's going on?" Emily said. My twin and I ran upstairs without wasting any time. Sophie, Olivia, and the others were following us. When we got to the room, we saw Jake and Ethan standing in the corner, terrified. Ethan's arm was bleeding. One of the glass panes in the room was broken on the floor. "What happened?" I asked, terrified. "We were sitting on the floor and talking," Jake said, shaking. Then suddenly this glass flew up in the air and was thrown at Ethan. Thankfully, it only grazed his arm. I quickly cleaned Ethan's injury and bandaged it. "It'll heal, but no one else will do anything stupid like that again," I said sternly. Sophie asked, "But how did the glass fly? Did someone throw it?" The room suddenly felt cold. Olivia said in a soft voice, "This place doesn't feel right. We should get out of here." Back down to the living room, I tried to calm everyone down. But then asked, "Wait." Sophie said she was going to the bathroom. "But she's here. So who went to the bathroom?" My heart started pounding. I walked to the bathroom and knocked on the door. "Sophie, are you in?" I heard soft sobs from inside. I opened the door, but there was no one inside. The sobs were now coming from my parents' room. Back in the living room, things got even more scary. Jake, Ethan, and the others were staring at each other in silence. The sound of sobs was still echoing in our minds. Ben asked in fear, "What's going on? This place feels really weird." "I told you there was something in the basement," Olivia said in a trembling voice. "The basement is locked," I replied quickly. "It can't be broken into," Ryan said nervously, but Nicholas said he went down to the basement to get drinks. Everyone's eyes were on Nicholas now. He said nervously. I was thirsty. I thought you were joking. The door was slightly ajar, so I went in. Are you crazy? I said angrily. You didn't know how dangerous it could be. Emily asked softly. But did you feel something weird down there? Nicholas bowed his head and said, yes, it was strangely cold inside, and it felt like someone was watching me. But I quickly got some drinks and came out. Did you close the door? I asked seriously. Nicholas replied fearfully, I don't remember. Maybe not. Now fear was clearly visible on everyone's faces. Then suddenly the lights started blinking, and a strange deep echoing sound spread throughout the house. What is this? Sophie screamed. We have to check the basement, I said, although my voice was trembling too. We all opened the basement door together. As soon as we went down the stairs, a cold breeze hit us. It was as if someone was telling us to go back. There were strange lines and marks on the walls below. In one corner were old books and broken toys. But the scariest thing was an old mirror hanging on the wall. As we passed in front of the mirror, it seemed as if a shadow was moving in it. Then suddenly a loud scream came out of the mirror, and we all recoiled in fear. Jake said in panic, we have to get out of here. This is not a good place. But what is going on? Ryan asked. This house is hiding something, I said, and we have to find out the truth. But for now, we must get out of here. We quickly left the basement and closed the door. I locked it and called my brother. You have hidden something from me, haven't you? I asked over the phone. He took a deep breath and said, all you need to know is that basement has never been empty. I'll come and fix everything. Keep everyone out until then. We were all standing outside the house. The cold wind had made the atmosphere even more scary. Everyone's face reflected anxiety and fear. I called my brother again and again, but now his phone was switched off. Ethan broke the silence and said, when will your brother come? We shouldn't wait any longer. I don't understand either, I replied nervously. Then Olivia pointed to the window. There, look there. We all looked towards the window. A black shadow was slowly peeking out of the window from inside the house. Is that a human being? Sophie asked in a trembling voice. No, I replied immediately. It's something else. Then heavy explosions started coming from inside the house. It sounded as if something was falling on the floor. We have to finish this, I said, gathering courage. What? Have you gone crazy? Ryan shouted. If we keep running, it will never let us live in peace. We have to find out what is in the basement. Everyone agreed hesitantly. We went back into the house. The lock to the basement was now broken. A faint red light was visible from inside. We stepped inside. As we descended into the basement, the atmosphere had changed. The marks on the floor were now glowing. The mirror was in the same place, but instead of our shadows, it showed scary faces. Then suddenly a terrible scream came out of the mirror. A shadow came out and moved towards Nicholas. Run, run, I screamed. We all ran out of the basement, but Nicholas was stuck there. We were standing outside the door and screaming, but Nicholas's voice was echoing from inside. Save me. Please, get me out of here. Then the door closed by itself. Everything became quiet for a moment. Then suddenly, the lights in the house went out. Only a terrifying laughter was heard in the darkness. We all ran out of the house in fear. No one had the courage to save Nicholas. When we reached outside, we saw Nicholas standing at the door. His eyes were red, and there was a strange smile on his face. He said in a low voice, "What you saw was just the beginning.